So let me ask you, under current law, there are no penalties if a company falsely represents itself to be a service-disabled veteran business. Should there be penalties?
The American Legion has no position on penalties. However, there is a Center of Veterans Enterprise operated by the VA, which has the veteran business roster. And each veteran-owned business is advised to go to the VA and then get certified by the VA as a veteran and as a service-disabled veteran-owned business. We, along with the Center of Veterans Enterprise and our other small business owners, are advising the federal agencies to refer back to this list so that they guarantee that these are certified veterans and certified service-disabled veteran-owned businesses. You asked one question about false representation, and we talked about contract bundling. We are chiefly concerned with some of the prime contractors going to our service-disabled and veteran-owned businesses, having them on the initial contract, checking the block, and having them be part of their award paperwork. And then when the actual implementation of the contract and the services, and especially the payment, goes out, these companies are not being awarded these monies.
That's a problem that we are seeing across the board.
Right.
And believe me, we are looking seriously, see what kind of remedies we can put into the law to prevent this from happening. Mr. Alford?
Yes, ma'am.
When the SBA has testified about the 8A net worth limitation, they have said that the average net worth for companies in the program is less than $750,000. In your view, is a $750,000 personal net worth ceiling realistic for a business owner in 2006?
No, it's not realistic at all, and I think it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy to limit people to their net worth of $750,000 and then turn around and say, "You see, everybody's less than $750,000." I think we need to get up to the modern days and times.
Mr. Goyle, your business is construction.
Yes.
Isn't it? Is a $750,000 personal net worth limitation reasonable for your industry?
I would say no. I mean, to get bonding, you need capital.
Are you required to personally guarantee bonds and other business related loans?
All of my bonds, I personally guarantee them. I mean, I'm signed as an indemnity for the bonding company.
Mr. Alford, several years ago, agencies could limit competition to only minority-owned companies. That was put on a 2-year moratorium that has never been lifted. How important would it be to minority businesses to allow agencies to once again have this ability?
In effect, that moratorium became law, I guess you could say. But yes, it should be lifted, and we should be able to go back to it. It was an excellent instrument to get businesses into the fray and to develop them.
Would allowing agencies to restrict competition to minority-owned businesses help to ensure that companies survive after graduating from the 8A program?
Yes, indeed. They've got to have that experience before they graduate. Graduating with nothing is like graduating from high school and you can't read or write. What good is it? So you've got to have that experience, and that's the best approach to take.
Thank you. And now I will recognize Mr. Chabot.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Alford, I'll begin with you if I can.
Yes, sir.
It's my understanding that the majority of the 8A contracts are awarded to a relatively small subset of companies. What recommendations would you make to spread it out more so that more businesses are able to participate?
I think lifting that moratorium for one, and I would like to see an analysis of these so-called superstar 8A companies. You've got one in Silver Spring, Maryland, that's in the staffing business. The chairman of my association is in the staffing business, and somehow this person goes to $2 million $200 million first contract, $150 million. Now she's up to about $1 billion in work, and there's no way in the world that this has any sense of logic to it, other than she is representing somebody else who is well established and are using her 8A status to get in there and get some preferences. Now, going back to the talk about these false certifications, Attorney General Janet Reno took a very good approach when she came in, and she considered false certifications a violation of the False Claims Act. And she made a very good example of Peter Kiewit, the largest construction company, and a few others who were using these front companies. And she tracked some off to jail and seriously fined Peter Kiewit. And that sent a word out for a few years.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I'll go next to you if I can. In your opinion, what's the primary barrier to greater participation by service-disabled, veteran-owned small businesses in the federal procurement sector, and what changes would you suggest that we make to remedy that?
As I said earlier, it's the lack of knowledge of these contracting officers. They're not educated in the law, and if they were educated, and if there was proactive enforcement coming from the top down, from the secretary level down to the administrator, and make these contracting officers have not just a tutorial, but a competency-based test to make sure that they are aware of these laws. And with the recent decision, there are, pardon me, is that decision from the Comptroller General dealing with porta potties. However, had a presidential decision that allowed these contracting officers to award a sole source contract as long as they have the intent of knowing that there are two possible service-disabled veteran-owned businesses out there. Now, what these contracting officers have been doing is requiring that they have two possible contracts in hand, and that is not the law. They're enforcing something that is more strict and more stronger than what the actual law is.
Thank you. Ms. Dorfman, if you were to leave the U.S. Women's Chamber of Commerce and be hired as one of the top folks at the SBA, what would be the principal changes that you would make, and in what order, to remedy some of the failings that you addressed this morning?
Well, first I have to say I'm very happy that you would hire me and not appoint me, because my only allegiance is to small businesses, and I think that's the downfall. We have two people who are at the top of the SBA who come from large corporations that have no idea the complexity of the small business environment. And I think we need to get knowledgeable people in there that are not the dog and pony show for every administration, Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. But we need qualified people heading up these. The other thing is that if you get somebody who has been a small business owner, that you're going to get the best quality of fiducial responsibility, so to speak, because we know the value of a dollar, and we're going to make sure that we have the broadest programs available with the least amount of money going out the door. So, there's that to it. I think a lot of things have to happen. That first of all, we must go back to listen to Congress and implement the laws that are put forth. We also need to be part of the cabinet at the leadership level to make sure that the voice of small business is heard, so in the changing environment that there are experts there at the table that can help folks understand what needs to happen in the shifting climate, the different programs that need to happen right now. We've had some comment and discussion about, we've got all these small business programs, different set-asides, and can we combine them? What would that look like? I think one flaw in all the programs is that they keep you small. The small businesses are not able to grow. They get to a certain size, they graduate the program, and lo and behold, they're out competing with Lockheed Martin, and there's no that in-between place to grow. So we need to have some support so that instead of having these false ceilings of growth, that we can help small business grow. And I think ultimately the SBA has to get back to the roots and realize that small businesses are the answer to the growth of the economy, that we are here as an investment for the America people, and that small business has always been when you think of the United States, you think of small business growth and the opportunities that are here, and I would love to see that return.
Okay, thank you very much.